And we'll continue that conversation because while women's sports has made significant strides in recent years with numerous achievements and positives, there is a concern, though there are many challenges that female athletes face when they transition to life after their careers, and despite opportunities to remain involved in their respective sports, many struggle to adapt due to various options. But one that has made a smooth transition from what we can see is Coach Simphiwe Dludlu, and she joins us here on Sports Live now just to share her insights on these challenges and offer guidance on how women athletes can prepare for a successful post-sporting career. And there she is, looking lovely as usual, of course. Coach, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Sports Live on SABC.
Good evening, Tabs. How are you? Am I allowed to call you Tabs? Because in our corridors, in our corners, I call you Tabs. How are you, Tabiso?
You can call me whatever you want, Coach. I'm fine, thanks. Firstly, just talk to us about your involvement with Betway and this program that you are part of.
Yeah, so I'm one of the ambassadors in this program by Betway, which is the 12th Man, Betway 12th Man. And I think it's an incredible initiative because normally the attention is put on the performing athletes, the active athletes, and everybody forgets about the athletes that are yesteryear stars, you know. So our aim is to empower our legends. We call them legends, and our ex-sports stars or our ex-athletes. So mine is to come in and be able to give motivation to say we are there to give a word of hope and to tell them that Betway 12 Man is saying you can rediscover yourself using your successes as an athlete and be able to just go back to your community and empower others. And for you to do that, Betway is empowering them, these ex-athletes and legends, and saying to them, you've got skills that you were using on the field. Now off the field, let's empower you further so that you can go back to your communities and give back in a way that is tangible. So yeah, I'm part of the other ambassadors that are part of this program, and it's just been an incredible journey.
Yeah, and maybe what are some of the challenges, or what is holding them back maybe from being able to make this transition?
I think a lack of resources and a lack of transition programs. When you go overseas, most of the time you find there's transition programs which say from your playing career, you already have a pathway while you are still playing, while you are still active. Either your agent, the club, or the team, or the national teams even, they're able to say to you, what is your next step? They don't ask you what is your next step when you are already out the door. While you are still at your peak, while you are still performing, you're still making money, it becomes easy to transition. So the challenges that we have, especially for women, is that people forget that women also are part of households. They are breadwinners. They are life changers in their communities, in their families, and all of that. So, and also lack of an environment that allows them to transition as well. Mentors that need to be in there to be helping them to be able to transition and share their dreams and their aspirations to say, this is what I'm also passionate about. How do I go about now changing one cap of an athlete and putting on another cap of now I've become a community builder. So those are the challenges that we face. And most of the time, for women especially, it becomes extremely difficult because once you're out of the limelight, once you're out of the people's faces and out of people's talks and everyday conversations, you become a forgotten hero. So those are the challenges. And you'd find that some of us that didn't have a flourishing career and all of that to make financial gains and things like that, it becomes even more difficult because sometimes you're not employable, sometimes you don't have the tangible skills for you to continue on things that you love. Some want to be coaches, some want to be administrators, some want to be marketing people, branding people, and things like that, but they don't know how to apply themselves and immerse themselves into a working environment.
So how did you do it then? How did you go from Cannavaro, the defender, to Coach Dludlu, to the top analyst in the country? They don't even say you are the top female analyst in the country. They just say top analyst in the country. Was it always a plan for you? Did you set out this pathway? Did you set out these goals while you were still playing?
I think I did. When I was playing, I knew immediately. When I got to the High Performance Center as an athlete in 2004 at 16, I knew that I'm in an environment that says it demands more from me. So when I got to university, I got in there and I said I wanted to study sports science. Initially, I wanted to be an economist, but because of football and all of that, I got introduced to a world of sport, and I realized I can make a career in sport while I was also playing. So that really intertwined perfectly for me. So I did a lot of research to find out, what does sports science give me? And I saw there was coaching, there's a sports scientist, there's biokineticists, there's a lot, you can be a lecturer and things like that. And all of this was happening at the peak of my career. And I was in a program, like I said, when you don't have mentors and people that are helping you think ahead, it becomes difficult. So I had Mr. Kenneth Nelubalani and also friend Hilton Smith, who said to me, what do you want to do post your playing? And I already knew, because I'm studying sports science, and this can help me post playing football, because with women in sport, we know that longevity is not a realistic thing all the time. You know, compared to our male counterparts, you might not have a long career where it's fruitful, you have money and you have all of that. So I already had planned. I sat down with my mother. I said to her, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to become. Because in 2008, Taps, I was at the peak of my career. I was playing WAFCON in Equatorial Guinea and all of that. And I was already coaching. I had my introductory course. So I knew that I wanted to be a coach. So while I was playing at the peak of my career, I started doing my coaching courses and doing all of that, taking the necessary precautionary measures to say, where do I go? What do I do? I started creating a pathway for myself. So everything started falling into place. So when I stopped playing at a point where I was already an assistant coach in a club where I was playing, and I started coaching there. So the transition was a bit smooth technically in terms of that. But the other parts of it was really difficult, because I moved from being a player at Tuks to being a coach in the same team. And it was extremely difficult, because that transition from being a player to a coach to people that you were coaching, you can only imagine what that looked like.
Okay, well, I hope you've got plans to be on the bench in the PSL as one of your goals, eh? Because these club owners need to wake up. We can't let these brains go to waste, and we must stop this thing of association, women coaches with women's football and all of that. I think you can sit on any bench. But thanks for speaking to us, Coach. It's always a pleasure catching up with you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, club bosses better wake up. There's a coach there. You can make history here. Coach Simphiwe Dludlu, top analyst here in the country, speaking to us about part of the program that she is part of in mentoring women in sports and helping them transition from their careers to life after their careers.